Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel, Palpable Pages. If you don't know me, my name is Alicia and I like to do book reviews. I like to read a lot of books. That's my new favorite hobby, one of the B's for this year. Yes, so happy March. It's the month of March. Trying to wear some green, getting a little bit leafy here. Ready for spring. But yes, so I don't know why I've just been on a suspense thriller mystery book kick. All of January was all about Colleen Hoover, and then February and now leaking into March has just been on a Riley Sager essentially kick, and then some other suspense authors. Like, can't wait to read Ruth Ware, Megan Miranda, a couple other ones. But yes, this book, Home Before Dark. I just finished this book a couple days ago. I wish I could do book reviews like the day I read the book. Like, you finish the book, close it, and you're like, wow, this is such a good book. But, I got off work, took a shower, laid in bed, read the last 10 pages, and then just like had some very like weird dreams. But yes, anyways, so this is a couple days later. I didn't read the book just last night. Right now, I'm reading a different book, The House in the Pines. I'm reading that right now, but this book is it's another Riley Sager. I've read, this is my second of his I've read, and I read, and the first one was amazing. This book is amazing, and I've like now purchased more Riley Sager books. I'm gonna read all of them, and I can't wait till the new one comes out in June. Yes, this book is called Home Before Dark. I'm gonna talk about that for just 1 second. If anybody out there has read this book, the title, I'm not understanding the title, Home Before Dark. If you've read the book, I'm like, make it make sense. Just make it make sense to me, because I don't get it. Like, the book is amazing. I just don't get the title. Like, when you read it, Home Before Dark, it's like, you better get home before dark. There's something out in the woods that's gonna get you. Like, I initially was thinking, ooh, there's all these woods that's surrounding the house, and we know that these are the Vermont woods. So I'm just like, there's something out there. Get home before dark. Get out from, get inside. You know, I don't know, but didn't make sense to me. I don't really get it. I've tried to piece it together. I'm like, home before dark. Why do we need to get home before dark? And I was thinking, just can't say too much else, or I'm going to give away certain things that I don't want to. But yeah, make it make sense. Leave a comment if that makes sense to you, anybody else. But yeah, this book, it's about Maggie Holt. She is the main character of the book. And Maggie Holt, essentially, the book starts off with her father. He's going through a rough time. He's got cancer, and he pretty much tells her never to go back to this house. The house on the cover, it's a Victorian estate. It's in the Vermont woods, and it's called Baneberry Hall. And this is a house that they lived in for 20 days. And then when she was young, I believe 6, they just ran and went to a hotel and called the police, and all this stuff happened, and they were only in this house for 20 days because of something that happened that was just so horrific. And her dad tells her never to go back, because she anyways, learns to inherit it, that she inherits the house from her father. That's not a spoiler. I believe it says that on the back. Oh yes, it says right here, Maggie is a restorer of old homes, too young to remember any days even mentioned in her father's book about this house, and she inherits the place. She wants to renovate it, sell it, but I think more for herself. She needs to figure out if what everyone thinks happened really did happen, because just gonna tell you, her dad is Ewan. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. Ewan. Ewan. Um, he's a writer, so he was going through some writer's block. Bought this Victorian estate, hoping to get inspired by maybe some of the history of the house to write a book. So that's the reason they bought it. But then when they move in, these things start happening according to the book he wrote. All she knows is when she was in the hotel after leaving the house after 20 days, he's like sitting on the toilet using the counter as like a desk for his typewriter, like typing up this book like a crazy person, day and night, and busted that book out immediately after leaving. And the book is called House of Horrors, and it all surrounds what happened to them in this house. And Maggie has no no memory, no, she doesn't remember anything that happened the time that they lived there. And so she's like, I feel like my dad is lying. He was just doing it to get some fame and notoriety, maybe to help book sales, or was it really true? She doesn't know. She's like, she's read the book, her father's book, and the whole town like has read the book, and like it's a small town that now has like all these people like coming to this house, like stalking the house and everything around it and the history of the house, because they have to know if it's real. And the author, Riley Sager, I did see a review that said that he based his book, the inspiration for his book, this book, was Amityville Horrors. So it's kind of based on that premise, but so different. So different. It is not Amityville Horror. It has the suspense, it has the thrills, it has so many plot twists, like every Riley Sager book is supposed to be known for his amazing plot twists that you don't see coming, and I did not. I have to say this book is 10 out of 10 would read again. Maybe once a year in October, read again. It's a good book, but I really enjoyed getting to read snippets of the father's book, because he wrote the book House of Horrors, and that's why Maggie's like going back to this house to investigate. And this book is like, you get a chapter of like now of what Maggie's doing, and then you go back into a chapter of her father's book, reading about just a little bit at a time. And I like that it's in order, because like something happens in her father's book and it immediately goes to like what she's dealing with in that same situation in real life. So like it's not like, oh, you read this in the history and then a couple chapters later, like, did you remember that fact? Like, no, it's pretty back to back, lines up with the timelines of each other. And I like all the characters in the book. There's like these groundkeeper Hibs, and there's the housekeeper. They both live on the property, and it's Elsa. She has two daughters, Hannah and Petra. And then there's other characters like the sheriff in the book, who to me sounds like Regina King, because they described her as like shorter, feisty, and I don't know. I can't not see Regina King as the sheriff, but they pretty much said that the sheriff was very new to role whenever this happened initially. 20 days after leaving, they sent her in to investigate the house, and she wrote up a report, and it's because that police report had all these details in it, and like verbatim what they told her she wrote in that police report. So everyone's like thinking this is the real deal, and it all really happened. So yeah, I was very invested in wanting to read this book, knowing that. I did see some people that did book reviews of this book, of Riley Sager. They said they compared this book to like Rose Red by Stephen King and The Conjuring. And so I'm like, I gotta read it. I gotta see. I know like the Conjuring book series is supposed to be based on true events. That's why I can't read it. I can't read it. Just because they're saying based. And like when you say based on true events, like, you know, out of an entire paragraph, like maybe oh crap. Okay, sorry, that was my dog. Just trying to claw her way in the door because I can't have the door shut. Anyways, yes. I feel like when they say based on a true story, you might have like the name and like, oh, the place they were at, and this did happen, but not completely the way that they said. And you know, it's so loosely based, saying based on a true story. Like, I don't really know, and I know it's just gonna give me the heebie-jeebies and put me on edge even more than I am now. Anyways, I can't read the Conjuring books. Can't do it. Maybe one day. I don't know. But yes, speaking of, I want to mention that there are a lot of mysterious deaths that are mentioned in the father's book and that are uncovered by Maggie. And really, it's just like those things that happen, they could all be like, yeah, they're accidents. Accidents happen, especially back in the time that this house was built. Yeah, that's, I mean, normal. Or is it not? Or is it like these ghosts that have been terrorizing her? Because I will mention, it's not a spoiler, there are ghosts that are mentioned in the book called Mr. Shadow and Miss Pennyface. And I'm just like, because you know when I did watch the Conjuring movie, and like the Crooked Man was even just one snippet scene of the Crooked Man. Oh my God, no, can't do it, can't deal with it. And I'm just like the way they describe Mr. Shadow, I'm just no. There, it was this book. Do not read it by yourself at home in the dark. I did for a minute. Like some of it wasn't written in the dark. Some of it's written with like my kids playing next to me, and I'm just like this while they're watching a Disney movie. And then some of it's read when I was at home after my kids were in bed, and I'm in the dark. I'm like with a little book light like clipped over, like so you can see like the book, but you can't see anything behind the book light. So I'm just like, you know, I feel like I scare easy because when I watch The Conjuring, there's a scene in The Conjuring where there's like the red faced creature demon in the stairwell, and everyone's like, and I'm looking around the room like, what are you guys talking about? Like, why is everyone all scared? And they're like, they literally had to pause the movie and point out to me the face, and I was like, oh my God, like. I stare and stared and stared into the stairwell. I'm like, I don't see it. I don't see it. Like, until they pointed it out to me. And now, like, anytime I look in the dark, I'm just like, I'm just not seeing it. I don't see it. I don't know. Anyways, best time in this book, give yourself heebie-jeebies. Maybe in October, September. Maybe not in March. But that's just, you know, the kick I'm on right now. Really enjoy Riley Sager books. I'm going to continue on until I get his next book in June for sure. I can't wait for that one. Yes, so you guys have a great day. Have a great month of March, and wear green. Don't get pinched. Bye.